Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's February 25th, 2015, and here's a look at our top stories.
Tonight, the FCC refuses to publicly release the federal government's plan for the internet takeover. Meanwhile, Barack Obama holds a town hall meeting that is closed to the public but open to illegal aliens. And a new poll says that the majority of Americans support military invasions of Iraq and Syria. All that plus more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
SOPA, PIPA, CISPA. These are just some of the ways we've seen them try to take our internet away, the government that is. And today is no different. FCC refuses to testify before Congress ahead of internet takeover. FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler is refusing to appear before Congress as the FCC prepares a regulatory internet takeover. Not only that, but Wheeler has also refused to publicly release the FCC's 332-page draft of the internet regulations. So if you or I decided that we just didn't feel like going in front of Congress, there'd be some serious repercussions for that. But if you're the head of the FCC, it's not that big of a deal. And it's one of those, we have to pass it to find out what's in it kind of deals. And we've seen this before, we've seen Nancy Pelosi doing things like this. And we heard Mr. Wheeler, he said something to the effect, we have to keep the internet fair. And I think the internet is pretty fair as it is. I pay my $40 a month for my internet service. I get to use it. I can use Netflix, whatever I want to do, and I'm fine with that. Same deal if you have a phone. You have a data package. You have, $50 worth of content or whatever. You use that up, you get another data package. I'm okay with that as well. But now the government wants to come in and regulate your internet for you. And to hear more about this, let's take a listen to an interview on Larry King.
I think that we at the FCC should be as open and transparent as the internet itself, and let the American people see for themselves what it is that we're talking about.
Wait a minute, you can't tell me what's in the document?
That is correct. Stamped on the front is an internal, use-only, non-public moniker. And unless I'm authorized by the chairman to disclose this, I can't let you or any of the other millions of Americans who are interested in the internet economy know what the FCC is going to do.
Why?
Until we vote on February 26th, this document will not be released.
And as I said before, they want to pass it before they can show you what's in it. But you do have guys like that fine gentleman trying to warn you about these things to come from the most transparent administration in American history. I could not say that without laughing. And the transparency seems to know no bounds because now we have Obama having town hall meetings that are closed to the public. And one person was quoted as saying, Obama today flies to Miami to take part in a town hall with a handpicked audience to talk about his immigration policies and imperial actions. The Miami Herald reports that the event, scheduled to take place at the Miami campus of the Florida International University, is not being sponsored by the university and is, in fact, closed to the public for all intents and purposes. And he does this, this is what this president does. To reiterate myself, allow myself to reintroduce myself, because myself and Kit Daniels went and saw Obama or attempted to see Obama when he came here to Austin at the University of Texas, well, I guess technically the LBJ Museum. And, we went through the flaming hoops of razor wire. We had to go submit our packets and all that stuff. And I got my press pass and I said, okay, where is it going to be? Where do I need to go? They said, oh, you cannot go in because you were not hand selected by the Secret Service. I said, excuse me, what are you talking about? I went to the thing, here's my press credentials and all that. You talk to my boss, whatever. They said, yeah, but the Secret Service was choosing who could come in and who can go, and you're not on that list. So, basically they said, instead of going in the actual room with Obama, being able to ask him a question, we have this other room, this monitor room, that's in a completely different building where you can sit there and watch. And I'm not mad at the LBJ Museum. They were just doing what they were told to do. But this is the type of transparency they see. Town hall meetings where you can't go in unless you're handpicked, and also press events that you cannot go in unless the Secret Service selects you for that as well. Poll: majority of Americans support invasion of Syria and Iraq to put down U.S.-trained Islamic State. If a poll put out by Pew Research can be believed, writes Kurt Nimmo. A majority of Americans approve of the ISIS war, and a narrow majority want ground troops sent to Iraq and Syria. Due primarily to the ceaseless stream of horrific propaganda, 63% of Americans approve of an airstrike against ISIS positions, while 30% disapprove. And I'll say it like I say pretty much every week because ISIS is consistently in the news. You have Al-Qaeda, trained, funded by the United States of America in places like Iraq, also Syria. These guys break off into splinter groups and form ISIS. Now, people call into the show and they don't quite understand. Are you saying Islamic extremists doesn't exist? Yeah, they most definitely do. I'm saying that we're funding and providing these people weapons to use against our own troops, and then we send our own troops over there to fight them. Just like we do have Mexican drug cartels. They existed long before we started giving them guns with Operation Fast and Furious. But once again, we're funding our own opposition. And when I talk about Muslim extremists, I'm talking about the guys burning down Christian villages and chopping people's heads off if they refuse to convert. I'm not talking about Muslims in general. I always throw that out there as well.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfowarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfowarsLife.com. That's InfowarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.